Hello. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, no problem.
All right. We are going to roll straight into questions, and we're going to take our first question from Mark Darrow with PRN. Mark, go ahead.
Thank you. Congratulations, Matt, on getting in. Your thoughts on, are you playing with house money right now? A lot of people didn't expect you to get in, so you've got nothing to lose. What's your mindset?
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is, obviously I was pumped that we made it in and wanted it bad for the whole team, because we know that we could be a playoff contender, not just make it and be there. So I'd say the most stressful part was making it in the playoffs, but now I feel like we are the most put together as a team and the most prepared and ready to go and execute, to really make some hay and pick some guys off and try and make it through, and do a really good job. So I would say it's less stressful now and just more exciting that it's a little bit more of a clean slate where we're all grouped together in points and we can, show the strength of our team now.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Bob Pockris. Bob, go ahead.
Yeah, Matt, now that you've made the playoffs and kind of, I assume, done a lot of what people expected you to do, do you start bugging Penske and saying, hey, let's get next year done?
Yeah, it's funny. We've talked about that, Bob. I hadn't even brought it up really at all, or we hadn't even talked about it, because the focus was so much of just making the playoffs, which I'm so glad that we did for the team. But yeah, I mean, obviously I love driving for the Wood Brothers, and our alliance with Team Penske is incredible, and it's a home. It's a place I want to call home for many years to come. But yeah, I'm sure we'll get to that. I mean, my contract has options built in for multiple years, and they expressed that they wanted, this to be a relationship we built for many years to come. So I'd expect to have those talks here, pretty soon, to hopefully, do what I assume should be continuing to drive this 21 car.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, next question will come from Jeff Gluck. Jeff, go ahead.
Sorry if there's background noise. The dude doing lawnmower work right outside my window right now. So
You're good. I can't hear it.
Okay. Anyway, I was wondering, aside from yourself, who do you think is a dark horse or a surprise that could make a run in the playoffs?
A dark horse. I think personally, I think there's a lot of tough contenders. But if I was picking somebody, we were talking last night, and I was watching some of the picks that NBC and Fox, everybody were making for the championship four, and I thought that my pick would be, hey, I think Chase Elliott might be a good contender that might make it into that Final Four and make a splash and have a shot at winning a championship. So there's a lot of good contenders, so it's tough to pick.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Deb Williams, and then after Deb, Ryan Moy. You may go with your question. Go ahead, Deb.
Thank you, Amanda. And Matt, congratulations on making the playoffs this year. You came extremely close to winning Bristol last fall. Now Bristol is the final race in the first round of the playoffs. How do you view Bristol going into this year, to this particular race, and do you feel like that may be your best shot for a victory in the first round?
Yeah, I think, obviously I love Bristol. Everybody knows that, but our team is strong there. We haven't gotten a show. We've had a couple unfortunate circumstances both time we've raced there, but we have fast cars, so I look forward to going there. I'd say that would be one circled off as a great opportunity for us to, get a win. I don't put too much emphasis on winning, because there's a lot of things that have to, work out for you to win a race on top of being really good throughout the day. But that's one we definitely have circled off. I think, really, this whole first round's grouped with some great racetracks. Darlington's a lot of fun. Richmond, I think, is a great track. Could be a great track for us. I love short tracks. Our cars seem to be really fast on them. So there in Bristol, being the cutoff race is pretty exciting.
Hey, thank you, and good luck.
Thank you.
Hey, Matt, how you doing? Congrats on everything. Just a quick question, what was it kind of like, taking that Wood Brothers car across that line and being in a place? I know you were kind of boxed in for a lot of that race, but in the end, you came out. I mean, you punch that ticket. So talk a little bit about racing for Wood Brothers right now.
Yeah, it made it extra special making the playoffs, driving the 21 car, and doing it for the Wood Brothers because, you know, man, they have so much passion for what they do, and it was so special too because to give a glimpse of what it's like driving for the Wood Brothers. You know, during the week, that's one of the most stressful weeks ever. My wife's crying and panicking and all that, and I got a phone call. Multiple phone calls from all of them, from, you know, Lynn Wood, Eddie Wood, John, all you know, the whole family, and Nancy's texting me, and the family this is a glimpse of just how special it is driving for the family. They were so supportive, and they have your back, and it was like, hey man, just, we know, do your job. We're confident in you, and you know, either way, you know, we're happy with you, and we have your back either way. It's not the end of the world if we don't make it. If we do, we'll be real excited, but just don't worry about it and go do your thing and have fun and know that we have your back, you know, and things like that are so special. You know, to have that's the kind of family that I'm lucky enough to drive for and to be wheeling this 21 car. That's one of the dynamics that makes it so special, driving for the Wood Brothers. And it's really, really heartwarming, and it really makes a bigger impact than they think. And even Nancy was texting my wife and helping calm her down, you know, all the things that really make a big impact and are special to us.
Thanks, Matt. I appreciate it. And congrats again.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Lena Washington. Go ahead.
Hey, Matt, Lena Washington, ABC Sacramento. Congratulations on everything once again. As you mentioned, you know, you don't put much emphasis on winning, but do you visualize yourself winning as part of your preparation, or do you have you had that thought through your mind as you look ahead to these stretch of races?
You know, I think the reason that I say I don't put too much emphasis on winning is, I mean, my goal is absolutely, we want to win. That's a given. And I know we can win for sure, and we will. So that's been my whole goal of my entire career. But as far as execution, the reason I say it is I feel like you can get too caught up in focusing your race on, like, how do we win? How do we, you know, it's not always the best car that wins. And my focus is on how to make the most of our race car and the most of that day. You know, and not get too caught up in the fact of like, oh man, that guy's pulling away. How do we get to him? You know, it's just focusing on yourself, your car, your team, make the most of it and maximizing your day. And then hoping, obviously, it puts you in a position to have a shot at winning when it comes down to the end of the race. So that's kind of how everyone prepares different mentally. That's how I prepare to go into a race, and I've learned over time. And even this year, I've learned, like, hey, make sure I stay focused on this because it makes us better as a team.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Ashley with Popular Speed. Go ahead with your question, Ashley.
Hey, Matt, I was just wondering, what's one of the biggest challenges when it comes to running at Darlington Raceway?
I'd say Darlington's a little unique in the sense that it's a place where you need to focus on racing the track. You know, not quite as much racing other people. You focus on minimizing your mistake, racing the track, making good adjustments. It's a long race, and keeping up with it, having, you know, getting your car handling well. So you're kind of focused on yourself and your team, and not smacking the wall and things like that can end your day.
Perfect. Thank you, and best of luck in the playoffs.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Cole with Popular Speed. Cole, go ahead with your question.
Hey, Matt. Earlier this year, we spoke about your goals for 2020 before the season started. You'd mentioned contending for wins and making the playoffs for the top of the list, which you've successfully done. So what's next on your checklist, and what does a successful playoffs look like for you?
I mean, we would, you know, clicking off a win would be great. So that's, you know, that's a great goal. Again, when I say I don't focus too much on winning, that's more when I'm in the race car and on the track. And, you know, from you know, a goal standpoint, absolutely would love to get that 100th win for the Wood Brothers. So that would be an amazing goal to accomplish. I'd say now that we're in the playoffs, just focusing on executing and making the most of what we have, and hopefully that's making it through at least a round, couple rounds, you know, whatever it is. We're competing for a championship, so this is the time to shine, for sure, and hopefully, make it down to the end. But I would say if I come out of it knowing that we made the most of our race cars and executed well, and we continue to grow as a team, if we want to race, that'd be, an amazing end of the season. But to really pick off a lot of positions and points, this is a great opportunity for us to capitalize on now that we're all closed in points wise and we're within striking distance and we're the most prepared as a team to go out there and pick off a lot of guys. That's the most exciting part that could, kind of check off and the rest of the season and where we call it a success.
Thank you. Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Kelvin with ROC Sports. Kelvin, go ahead.
Hey, Matt, congrats again on making the playoffs for your first time. You really didn't have a chance to really sit back and reflect on it at Daytona. It was kind of a stressful situation with having to get into the playoffs, first of all. But have you had a chance to sit down, reflect on your career, going back from writing your name on the hood of a race, on the top of a race car to have your name on it, to parking it, to now actually being in the playoffs and contending, and you're going into the 3 tracks you really have a lot of good success with, being the 750 horsepower packages coming up, and you mentioned that as well after your win. Are you kind of had a chance to reflect and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'd say. That's what contributes to a lot of the emotion and appreciation that people see. And when I say things like, my wife crying because we make the playoffs and all of the accomplishments, that goes back to what you're talking about, is because of my past, and my path to get here has been, I've come, so far and gotten so lucky in the last handful of years to fight and claw from, starting barking a car or just doing anything to be, in a car, whether it's underfunded equipment, and just show that I can, drive and make the most of a race car, to fast forwarding now to driving in a way beyond dream opportunity, running the 21 car, making the playoffs, driving for the Wood brothers. I mean, it's pretty surreal to have that opportunity to drive it, and all those things like you talked about make me and my whole entire family and everybody appreciate it to a completely different level that we wouldn't be able to without those experiences.
Thanks, Matt. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Jeff with Empire Sports. Go ahead, Jeff.
Hi, Matt. Congratulations and happy belated anniversary. To kind of bounce off of Kelvin's question here, could you possibly describe in your own words what this week has been like for you as a first-time playoff driver on a veteran level? Because you've just seemed so excited, signing the hats, giving away for the giveaway, the playoff hats at this point. Could you just describe your feeling and your mindset and how great it is to finally break in to the playoff threshold?
Oh, man, I'd say I described this week as a relief because it was so stressful and kept getting more stressful leading up to Daytona, and the points closed in. We lost the gap, the buffer we had, all that. So just, I'd call this week exciting. We got to celebrate with some friends out on the lake on Sunday and have a good time. But then, come Monday, it was time to shift focus and just, we still got a lot of racing left and a lot to accomplish. But it was a relief, and it's just exciting moving forward now instead of stressful. Exciting knowing we have an opportunity to really put a good end to our season and cap it off and have a lot more success. Finish it off now that we are in the playoffs. So I'm pretty pumped up about that and appreciative to be doing it for the Wood brothers.
Thanks, Matt. Good luck.
Thanks.
Okay, we're going to I believe we have time for one final question. We'll go with Peter Strada. Peter, go ahead with your question.
Thank you. Matt, you've had a great run to start off the season, but you've been on a slide throughout the summer. What can you and the 21 team do to reverse your inconsistencies?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I feel like we started the year, to kind of summarize our season, we started the year and we were we had fast cars, but we didn't execute well. So we had a lot to work on. We're a new group working together, so we didn't maximize our races, which that's frustrating if you don't maximize what you have and make the best of your days. So we really got to work communicating, like, all right, what do we need to do? And obviously during 2020, it's kind of crazy times. Really worked on communication. Then the mid-stretch, we got to where we were running up front weekly. We got stage points, I think like 8 stages in a row. and running top 5, top 10 right up front. So that was great. Then we got into lately, a little bit more of a slump where, and not all of them were execution related. We went to Texas and we're running 4th and we get wiped out by a lap car. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that hurt us really bad, points wise. Then we go to Kansas. Had just gotten our car really good where I thought we could run up there to the top 5, at least top 10 at worst. And we get wiped out on a restart, and then in Bristol, we got wiped out from a crash, and then it was just, then we went to Dover and we just flat out struggled. So some of the circumstances were just not really great luck, some things that we can improve on as a team, but I look forward now. We're in the playoffs, thank goodness, and we have a lot of racetracks that we look at as big strengths for us, and I think we're most prepared as a team to go out and execute.
Okay, we're going to squeeze in one more question. Justin Long, go ahead with your question.
Thank you, Matt. I'm curious, how, being a first timer in the playoffs, how you anticipate things will elevate on the track. Obviously, it's cutthroat throughout the pack, and you've had experiences and talked about how cutthroat it can be in the middle in past years. And I'm just curious, even with all those experiences, what as a playoff rookie in a sense, what do you anticipate it might be like, and how will you have to react or change, or is it just you have to stay the same and in what you're about to experience?
I think there's just a little bit more desperation probably in the playoffs because there's so much on the line, and every race matters so much. You just don't have margin for error. During the regular season, you have a little more margin for error because it's a long season and you're just trying to make it in the playoffs, rack up points, stage points, things like that. But now there's just really no margin for error. But as far as how I'd approach it as a playoff, I've been doing this a while. Luckily, it's my 6th year full time. But as a playoff rookie, I guess from the experience I've learned in all my past situations is to only focus on what's in my control and to drive the race car and approach the race just like I would any other race, which is to make the most of what we have for that day. So I really don't change my approach personally, and that takes discipline to do with so much on the line. But I've learned to be, especially I'm lucky that I've, as I've gotten older, I'm 29 now, I've been doing this a while, is that I feel more disciplined and mentally mature and ready than ever on those things that really affect my execution of my race with my team.
Thank you.
Yep.
All right, Matt, we appreciate your time with us today. We wish you the best of luck in the playoffs. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. See you later.